versus the world. We may not be right, but we don't know what about. Versus the world. We don't fuck around. If we did, we found out we are drunks. Versus the world. We may not be right, but we don't know what about.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Smooth Jazz. That was Jonathan Coltrane with I Want to Lick That a Little Longer.
That's still funny. That is so funny, dude. I mean, I don't care. I'm turning the channel anyway, but...
Sorry, I was thinking of my other job.
When you're a DJ?
Yeah.
Or you own your own Spotify channel?
No, I'm a DJ, but I have to do it over, what is it, AM radio or the... No, what are the...
The public?
Yeah, what are the little handheld that people talk to truckers with?
Oh, CB.
CB radio. I do it over CB radio. Yeah.
I just noticed something. Well, before we get into that, go ahead. You are?
My name is Lucas.
And I'm Jason.
And this is the Drunks versus the World podcast.
Yeah.
You are not listening to Smooth Jazz.
Yeah. And we are technically at the minimum to be plural as in drunks versus the world. Justin, again, he got, this time, it's not looking good for him. He joined a cult. Polygamist, but this time he's not multiple wives.
It's multiple husbands.
Yes, multiple husbands.
It's a husband and multiple husbands.
So basically, he's a cuck. He's a cuckold, and Justin, just say no. Just say no. I wonder what if you were to be in like in one of those plural marriages where they have that, which I know it's not normal in like say a Mormon polygamous type of thing. I know it's all fucking men, men, and
then like 6 women.
But if you got stuck being in one of those polygamous groups where it's women and then they have multiple husbands, how would that work? I mean, because some of them, like, there's one that's got the head wife, the first one and blah blah blah. Then you got the other 2, and you have 48 fucking kids. Well, I mean, that your wife had got ran through something fierce.
You know what, though? I might be okay with it just for the fact that then you can kind of push all that emotional shit onto all the other guys. You don't have to deal with
all
that
the other
side
husbands.
of it. Yeah, so I don't want to deal with all this emotional stress and.
So there was a TV show on I think it was HBO back in the day. It was called Big Love. And it was about Mormon polygamy and everything. And Bill Paxton was in it, Chloe Sevigny, Ginny, I can't remember her last name, and quite a few other people. And he owned like a chain of department stores. And I believe each wife, except for one, had a job. And the one that didn't have a job was because she was born into polygamy. Like her dad was like the what do you call it? The fucking king ding-a-ling dude.
Yeah, like
or was at one point.
The Pope of polygamy.
Yeah, the prophet.
Yeah.
And he, so she was the one who sat at home and churned the butter and fucking baked the bread and all that shit.
Minute after minute.
Yeah.
Hour after hour.
Oh, God. So it was a weird show, but that type of shit interests me. Not polygamy, but religion type of shit. So then I seen, when me and the wife got together and everything, and we were living together, we started watching some TV, and she started watching that Sister Wives. And I started getting into it. And now this motherfucker, he had 4 wives. He had like 18 kids, right? But this is the same guy, Cody Brown, who fucking every one of his wives except for the most recent one that married him, which they were together for, 10 plus years anyway. His first 3 wives kicked him to the curb. They're like, fuck you, dude. One of them even said in an interview, they straight up said, he told her, we should never have got married because I just consider you a friend. They haven't been intimate in like 20 plus years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That poor fucking woman. Like, just to have to live that for 20 years.
Yeah,
Like,
she went through some shit. Her name was Mary. And then there was the other... No, I don't remember if she... I think she was the first wife, and then there was a second one, and she was not pretty. And then there was a third one and a fourth one, and they...
I think I just saw a commercial for like a new season of that. Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand what it was because I missed the beginning of it, but they showed like these like 4 women, and they were all just like hideous. And I was like, what?
So the newest one, when she was younger, wasn't horrible. The third one isn't horrible. The other 2 were fucking sea donkeys.
I just don't know if it's the same people that you're talking about, or if this is if it's following a different.
It probably is.
It could also be that it's a kind of an imitation show where not a spin-off, because a copycat type show,
right?
And I'm just not remembering the name and
right. No,
putting
it's
the 2 concepts together.
It's actually kind of. I like to watch him because of all the fucking drama. And I'm not a drama queen or king or whatever you want to call it at all, but some of the shit that went on, and then the third wife was the one's just like, you know what, we're cutting it. We're leaving. I'm leaving because you don't fucking want to be with me, and he was a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's a matriarchal fucking relationship where, you know, hey, I'm a man, you know, knock him over the head and drag him home type of shit. And she had no problem with being in this type of, what do you want to call it, relationship. But what ended up happening was that he just, all 3 of his, the 3 wives out of the 4 were all just like, you know what, you don't even love us. You don't even like us. You just come around because you feel like you have to. And he was a fucking prick.
Yeah.
And one of his sons actually killed himself.
Good.
Because he was depressed and having issues, and apparently there was a couple times where he tried to reach out to his dad. His dad wouldn't answer the fucking phone. His dad was a bag of shit.
Yeah.
They lived in Utah for a while. Then they moved there because of what was going on. They were really going to. Utah was really going to start breaking, coming down on fucking polygamy. Mm-hmm. And then so they moved to Las Vegas, and they bought 4 houses, and they, which is, I mean, I get it, 4 fucking houses, 4 wives, you know, 4, and every night he had to stay at a different one. Well, then something was going on where he decided he wanted to move to Arizona. So they moved to Arizona, and he was having a hell of a time trying to sell. He was having a hell of a time trying to sell the houses. And what his plan was then is he wanted to build, once they sold all the houses in Vegas, because his second wife was a real estate agent. He wanted to build one big fucking house that had basically apartments in it, but he had a spot for his own place. Yeah,
he basically just wanted a
brothel.
A brothel, just his own personal brothel.
Not even a brothel. What is it? What do you call it? Those, you know, back in Aladdin and shit. A
harem.
Harem. Yeah. Yes, he wanted a harem.
He wanted a harem that he could just anytime he wanted, he could go to a different one, and then could go be on his own if he didn't feel like it.
So each apartment had like their own little kitchen and everything, and then there was a communal kitchen and a communal like area and whatever. But he also had his own little spot. He was like, "Oh, I need that. I need that." Fuck you. First of all, you're a greedy fucker for wanting 4 wives.
See, if that's what he needed, then he should be like in one of the other way around, where it's the one woman and then 5 guys. See, he's thinking the way I am. Like I need to be by myself. Okay,
he's being greedy. I mean, you know, there's guys like, fuck, I'd love to have 3 wives because I have threesomes all the time. No, foursomes. No, sorry, dude. That's not how they're gonna do it.
They'd have a lot of foursomes. You wouldn't be involved.
So they ended up buying this big chunk of land anyway, and they were like, no, we all want our own house. Because apparently there was a time where they owned like a big apartment building, and they had where he just went through the 4 apartments. And but then they bought this big chunk of land in Arizona, and they started making, because every one of the wives said, "Fuck you, we don't want that," and he pushed it and pushed it and pushed it, and they were all like, "No," and he got all pissed off. So he ended up deciding. They decided that they bought this big chunk of land, and they were gonna have. He wanted 5 houses, 1 for himself, and then 4 for the wives. I'm like, dude, you are a greedy fuck.
Yep.
You know, and so say you have that. So say all your wives decided, okay, yep, we're gonna do that. But all the kids, that's where the mother should have been like, that's what you want, okay, fine.
God, the child support.
And then, he didn't have to pay child support because he was only legally married to 1. He was spiritually married to 3.
Yeah.
So that's how he kind of got away from it. But in Utah, they knew better. So I would have been, just think about this. If all the wives be like, oh, he wants to have his 1 house. Oh, okay. We're sending all the kids over there at once. All 17 or however many he had. We're going to send them all over there at once and be like, we're having a wives' night out. Can you imagine that motherfucker? Could you imagine that dude just being like, no, we're not doing that. The fuck we're not, because we're already out the door. That would have been hilarious. That's just me, though. How was your week?
It was okay. Nothing special. Getting caught up at work, then falling behind at work.
Yeah, Lenny.
I did have Lenny last night. That was good. It was good.
He's a good dog.
Yep.
Once he calms down.
Yeah, he's an anxious little fella.
Yeah.
But
when he wants to play, he's fun to play with.
Oh, he really is. Yeah.
Did he chew on any of your pants this time?
Nope. He did. I was putting a pair of jeans away, and he did get that. He jumped down from the bed right away and was right over by the jeans, like
checking them out.
Yep.
Being like, dude, these smell delicious.
Those don't have any holes in them yet.
How does he own pants without holes? Hold on a minute. Well, that's good. I mean, so does it make you even want a dog even more?
I do really want a dog.
Yeah. I seen a video the other day. I tried to share it with the wife, and for some reason, she didn't get it, I tried to show it to her and went to different videos. But it was this beautiful golden lab, and there was these 3 people, random. Must have been a video from last year or the year before or whatever, around Christmas time, and there was these Christmas carolers, and the dog didn't know they had the door open. And so there was its master, owner, whatever you want to call it, its buddy, and then
human,
and then the 3 fucking carolers, and his dog didn't know if he was supposed to should I be angry and be guarding, or should I be happy because they're singing? And this dog was just like, just jumping around, and then it's like, jumping around,
and so confused,
and it was so cute. I'm like, and I sent it to Kelly, and I said, this is one of the reasons why I want a dog. And she goes, what the fuck? It was a video of Metallica or some shit. I was like, what the fuck? So that's why I tried to show her on my phone. Didn't come up. This is horse shit. I was pissed. But it was really cute. I love dogs.
Dogs are the best.
I really want one.
If you think cats are the best, fuck you.
Fuck you and cats.
I do like cats, though.
I'm not a fan. Boy was the only cat that I like. My brother's cat.
Yeah.
He was a good
cat.
His real name was Eddie. I didn't know that until 2 years ago. And they had that cat for 16 years or something like that. I was like, real name is Eddie? Well, we always called him Chow Chow or Boy. And he'd listen to either. I mean, when he's not busy stealing your Slim Jims or your spaghetti or curly fries, I wanted to see him try to eat a taco. That would have been kind of cool. So, yeah, it's been one of those weeks for me. I had another appointment. 2 appointments actually this week. Not really anything new out of it. So, but we are going to record 2 tonight. I got to go out of town next week.
Yeah, I'm going to a little house party next week with some old coworkers.
Shit, what's Justin going to do then? Probably get really wasted on a Friday so he can recover for 2 days.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes that.
Go ahead.
I was not for us. But.
Right. How is your fantasy league doing? Your fantasy team, I should say.
2-0.
2-0. Who is your quarterback?
My quarterback is Jalen Hurts.
Oh,
The Philadelphia Eagles.
1-1, aren't they?
They're 1-1, but he's done good in fantasy both times. He's been over 20 points.
What's weird is that, can you imagine if you had Derek Carr?
I know. I actually I still wouldn't have started him either the first 2 weeks.
Right.
But I did almost pick him up in one of the kind of mid rounds as a second quarterback.
As a backup.
But
yeah, I mean, so this is like his second full year in New Orleans. Yeah, second because
I think the major change is I think it's a new offensive coordinator.
See,
that's they're just out scheming everybody right now.
Can you imagine the plays that motherfucker's got going through his head? Because that's got to be like his eighth or ninth fucking offensive coordinator. No, I won't say that many. I think it's probably closer to 5 or 6, but still,
yeah,
that's a lot. And he's been in the league since he started in 2016. I think he took over in 2015. So he's going on 10 years. And I think he hasn't had this. He's got like 4 or 5 head coaches under his belt and probably 6 or 7 offensive coordinators. So, I mean, if you have a new fucking OC coming in saying, here's what we're going to do. And Derek Carr's probably sitting there thinking, dude, I have fucking 6 or 7 playbooks in my head. What if we do this? You know? But, hey, you know what they say in the old country? Once a Raider, always a Raider. So.
I haven't heard that before, but.
Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Because, I mean, I was a Raider back in the Bo Jackson days before I watched football.
No, we're talking about a player.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like
a fan. No, nice try though, buddy.
That was my first favorite team originally.
See, so you're a ship jumper.
Well, no, it's because I didn't watch football back then, but I didn't really know. Like I grew up in North Dakota, so it's like we don't have our own team.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, it's because of Nintendo. It's because of Tecmo Bowl. Because Bo Jackson was the shit.
You remember that episode?
So naturally, that was my favorite.
That episode of Family Guy? They kept telling you can't be the Raiders. You can't be the Raiders.
He keeps the ball for the entire half, and then finally runs it in.
Yep. What the fuck?
And then they started playing double dribble, but no, you can't abuse that corner 3 glitch.
Yep.
And then every time, corner 3.
Yep, corner 3.
What's he gonna do? Corner 3.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't the last one was that played was Cleveland. And he would just get mad.
Yep, he was
son of a
really
bitch
pissed off, and then Joe was just giving dumb commentary.
Yeah, I think the Bo Jackson one was when he played against Quagmire.
Yep, it was.
Oh God, that was a great episode. No, back then it was hard to kind of pick up who you wanted to be, what team you wanted to be. It was either the Bears, Raiders, Cowboys, even, and Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, you know, no other team really was as dominant as those 4 back then, you know, and to have fucking Bo Jackson. And it's his hip. His hip put him out of 2 sports.
Yeah, because his muscles were literally like too strong. It pulled his hip out of the socket.
Yep. Well, I heard something the other day that there was a player who ran the 40, the fastest ever, and they said it was like 4.2 something, like 4.22 or 4.2, which I believe is what Tyreek Hill and CD Lamb and all because CD Lamb they had those 3 fucking receivers. Not Josh Jacobs. The one of the Raiders had that. Henry Ruggs.
Oh, you're talking about
There was 3 receivers that came out that ran less than a 4.25.
Yeah, I was thinking of CD Lamb on the Cowboys.
Well, CD Lamb was a part of it. He ran a 4.25 or 4.24. So he was anyway fast as shit. But if I remember right, they said that fucking that when Bo actually ran it, and it was unofficial in the combine, I believe. They had him just do it during practice, and right after practice, and he still ran like a 4.19 or a 4.18.
Jeez. He was just a freak athlete.
He was.
He could do anything.
Bo knows everything, including banking.
Yeah. He didn't. The one thing he didn't know was the blues.
That's true. That was Bo Diddley.
And it was because he said that in the commercial. He's like, Bo knows the blues. And then it went to, I think it was BB King.
No, it was Bo Diddley.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was BB King at the time. But then he was like, just did the head shake. No.
Yeah, no.
Bo don't know the blues.
The blues guitar, so it was Bo Diddley. Which was, that's, when you think about it, it's actually kind of cool to have a guy named Bo doing
Yeah.
it. You know, and then you had Jim McMahon back then, and you had fucking just monster teams, and that's when I loved football back then. I loved football even in the 80s or 90s. It's until you got that pussy from Green Bay.
Brett Favre.
No, the other pussy, Aaron Rodgers. He, every time you turned around, he was complaining about something. And
Yeah.
now I get it. You should protect your players, but when you have to try to stop your body and change its position so you don't put your whole weight on them when you're hitting the quarterback.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
I'm sorry, there's a thing called physics. So now when you tackle a quarterback, you have to learn how to re-tackle all over again.
Yeah.
But you can tackle a fucking running back that way.
Yep, doesn't matter.
You
it's
can
just the
tackle
quarterbacks.
You could hit a fucking receiver and you're good to go. But you hurt that quarterback and wah, my name is Aaron Rodgers. I need to have shit changed because I won one Super Bowl in 23 years.
Yep.
And never went back.
Yep.
I think he's been to a couple of NFC championships, but he got his ass kicked.
He's definitely like, I mean, maybe not now, but in his day, he was an elite quarterback for sure, but
Yeah.
he was not playoff dependable.
I think what did they say, he's 41 or 42 now?
Yeah, I think he's 41.
And he did okay this last Thursday. But
Yeah, this was his first decent game.
Yeah.
Like, it was good in that no interceptions, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's what you would call an above average game.
Right.
It was 270 yards, so he didn't break 300, but
Right. But you have Alvin Kamara.
no,
And-
not on his team.
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh,
on,
yes,
your,
on my fantasy team, yes.
You have Alvin Kamara and fucking Saquon
and
Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. But
Jesus Christ.
I have... So Saquon Barkley was one of those guys that in my head, was like, I'll never take him again on a fantasy team.
Yeah.
Because he's always hurt, and
Yeah.
it could still happen. Who knows? But it was the right time to take him, so I did. But there's one other guy that I drafted that was also on my, I don't ever want to take this guy again.
Who?
And I did it, Amari Cooper. And he has been, like, last year he was a solid fantasy wide receiver.
Yeah.
This year he is just ass, but I don't think it's his fault. He's got Deshaun Watson, who is
True, but so even when he was with the Raiders, he had to do 3 years before he got traded. If he doesn't want to catch the ball, he'll fucking make it look like it wasn't his. And that's legit.
Yeah, he had one season where he was like great the whole year
For
the Raiders.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And then ever since then, it started with the Raiders, and it's been the same everywhere he's been.
Yep.
It's when he shows up that week, it's like, does he want to play or does he not want to play?
Yep.
He either shows up and balls out, or he just phones it in and
Yeah. I'm
One
gonna
catch.
have one game where I fucking put up fucking 190 yards and 3 touchdowns, or I'm gonna put up 80 yards and
if even.
yeah, and 0 touchdowns. Now, granted, your quarterback's got to help him on that, but when you have a ball thrown straight to you and you drop it midfield with a fucking straight line to the fucking end zone, maybe it's time for you to fucking think twice. Because
Yeah.
what was it? He got that $100 million contract or whatever it was when he was in Dallas, and they traded him like a year or 2 later.
Yep, they traded him to where he's at now, in Cleveland.
Yep. No, and Deshaun Watson, I mean, you know, when you're on the sidelines for fucking basically 2 years because of your fucking sexually, is it harass or assaulting?
Assault.
When you're sidelined for 2 years, you're going to have some fucking rust. Which you shouldn't, because you're getting lubed up like Diddy. And that's another motherfucker.
That's a big story.
Jesus Christ.
He is going down.
Prison. That dumb bastard. I shouldn't say poor bastard. That dumb bastard. He, what are you thinking? When you know that you are doing shit. So, apparently somebody that he knows from back in the day, he said that Diddy's mentors, which one was Russell Simmons and I can't remember, a couple other guys, showed him the ropes.
Probably like Suge Knight.
No, Suge Knight would have killed him. Remember, East versus West Coast? East Coast versus West Coast?
Yeah, wasn't
Suge was West Coast. He was fucking Death Row.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was Death Row Records.
I'm thinking of someone else, someone from New York.
Yeah. Anyway, so he apparently was showed this, that this is normal, and apparently it happened to him. Okay? You don't, just because it happened to you doesn't mean you turn around and fucking, that it's okay to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And especially to the extent that he did. So apparently there was, I don't know who it was, but one of his victims, he said that they had to do his assistant or whatever, one of his main jobs was to make sure that one of his victims' rent was paid every month and on time. Just because, so he could do whatever the fuck he wanted to her, as long, and she, you know.
So if that's your only way that you can pay rent and have a place to live, yeah, you've got a lot of power over you.
It was a distorted version of quid pro quo. Mm-hmm. Very distorted version of it. You know, hey, you know, you come over to my fucking huge fucking apartment in New York, and me and my friends are gonna treat you like a plastic fuck doll, but I'm gonna make sure that your $1,300 a month rent's paid.
Yeah.
You know, they found thousands of bottles of lube between his two properties.
I'm going to make a bold claim.
All right.
Even though I don't think it's that bold, because I think it's an open secret at this point, but during all of this stuff with P. Diddy, it's going to be confirmed that he was involved in the Tupac murder. I think he's dumb enough where he will have kept things like communications about it.
Well, so there was a dude, you know, there's a guy in prison or awaiting trial and everything for it right now.
Yeah, but they're saying that the rumor is that Diddy is like the one that ordered the hit and like paid for it and all that shit.
Right, and I also heard that he might have even had something to do with fucking Biggie Smalls. Which is weird because he was Biggie's producer.
That might be the person I was thinking of, was Biggie. Oh,
so Biggie's not. Biggie's New York. Tupac was California. But I heard that because I heard that somebody offered Biggie a good chunk of money to go possibly to West Coast, so which would have been Bad Boy Records, and so they took him out so he wouldn't lose his cash cow. Mm-hmm. Well, Faith Evans is making money off of fucking Biggie's fucking shit, and apparently Biggie's mom's making some money off of it, and you have one guy you have Tupac's been dead for what, fucking 20 years now?
Yeah, more than that probably.
And the guy keeps putting out new records. How the fuck does that work? Then they got pictures of J-Lo during a picture of her and Diddy laying in this big, huge bed with like two other people. It's just a regular picture, just like a innocent / whatever picture. And apparently it was during one of the freak-offs. Mm. Oh, well, maybe that's why fucking Ben said, bye, bitch.
It could be.
I mean,
we're gonna see there's gonna be a lot of recognizable names that pop up during the course of
I don't know. I think this might end up like Epstein. The difference between Epstein and Diddy is that Epstein had more political figures than...
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's not political figures on Diddy's.
Oh, there probably is.
But Epstein had more... Epstein was also a gazillionaire.
And there
was P. Diddy rich, and then there's Jeffrey Epstein rich.
Yeah, and the connections that Epstein had were... it was... very, very powerful people.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, there's connections with him that link him back to Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agencies. He had connections with all the, not, I don't want to say all, but, you know, government officials in the U.S.
Prince
locally.
Andrew.
Yeah, Prince Andrew.
When you have royalty,
Yeah, that's
something.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when you had fucking, if you're throwing Diddy's name into it, Diddy, that motherfucker. I mean, like I said, there's a difference between Puff Daddy's money and Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
And not saying that anything that neither one of them, that, you know, one was worse than the other, because it's both
they're both
horrible fucking
awful
crimes. I mean, I heard that there's something that might have happened to Justin Bieber.
Yeah, he's apparently, since all this has come out, he's been just
Very quiet.
Yeah, and even just people that know him, like, he is just kind of beside himself. So whether that's
The
it could just
reason-
be, yeah, it could just be like, oh my God, I can't believe I trusted him, like, and was so close to him. Or it could be something worse, you know,
Yeah.
like,
I honestly think the problem is that he fucked up, and Bieber does not know what to think.
yeah,
Because I mean,
it's someone that he idolized.
it's a victim complex. That shit's fucking real, dude. You know, speaking from experience, you don't think about it. You're like, what the fuck? You know, how could this have been?
Yeah,
You know, and so I wonder if maybe he knew. So, because, you know, apparently Bieber's had some issues for the last 3 years, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so maybe he knew beforehand that shit's fucking getting, you know, maybe, you know, he got a phone call and they're like, dude, did this happen? And he's, you know, maybe.
yeah,
And that
They
could be
have
a
been
reason.
talking to him.
Right.
Yeah, for a long time.
And that's when fucking Diddy was like, yeah, by the way, oh, you want to call me? Dude, I just got on my plane and I'm heading to a non-extraditional country. You know, and he tried everything to stay out of jail
Yeah,
or prison. They're different. Prison is different than jail, let's be honest. But
yeah, definitely.
I've heard that there's some places where you'd rather go to fucking prison than jail. But he offered up like $50 million worth of shit in order to stay out, and they're like, no, we know you're gonna still try to run. Mm-hmm. Which,
And you know what? In all of the shit that they seized from him and stuff, it's entirely possible that he had a pre-plan for if he got caught
Right.
on a way to get out of here. And so that's not something that we would know publicly until way later, but that could be the judge.
Yeah.
You know, they could have presented that evidence to him.
they turned around. Apparently, they froze all of his accounts, and apparently he had a few overseas accounts or offshore accounts, whatever you want to call them. He had cash stashed, and when you're sitting there and you have cash stashed, you know that you probably fucked up doing something, and you're just trying to make sure that if you have to bug out, you're still living comfortably wherever you go. Mm-hmm. Which, have you ever seen that movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington?
No, I never watched that one.
It's a great flick, and at the end when he's getting busted, there's a cop that is a dirty cop from New York or Newark or wherever, and one of the parts of the movie was he went looking for a stash. He goes, all gangsters have a stash of money that if something happens, they grab it and they leave.
Yep.
They fucking bug out. And
Yeah, they call it a bug out bag.
yeah. And it was fucking literally, he had like 3 or 4 bags, like big duffel bags stacked with cash. And so I guarantee you, I bet you fucking Diddy had one. Or if not a couple.
Yep.
You know, here's my thing. If I wasn't a celebrity and I needed a bunch of money to fucking, I wouldn't stash some motherfucker in like, say, Miami or California or New York. Nope. I'd put that shit like in fucking Bozeman, Montana or something, and it'd be like, okay, now we can get on one of like, I believe 2 major interstates. Let's fucking head somewhere, and I already got a fucking fake passport. I can get into, say, Canada, jump into Canada, then I get on a fucking plane and get the fuck out. Problem is, you know, if by chance you cross a border and you have millions in cash, they're gonna be like, what's this? You know,
that's why you'd want to, if you're going to plan way ahead, you have people that will bring a couple thousand in cash across the border, something that's a lot, but then they can say, oh, I'm going to a casino up here. And then they, over time, keep stashing more across the border. So when the time comes, you're set. And then you get on your big yacht that you have in Canada and you sail to fucking Japan or something.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were to bug out and you were a fucking, say, a celebrity, and you were to bug out, where would you, if you had to go somewhere so you couldn't be caught, where would you go?
I mean, you would have to set something up in a country that doesn't have an extradition treaty.
Belize.
Yeah, there's some nice South American places like that. Belize is, I mean, at least from what I've seen, is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, you find a nice country that doesn't have extradition, and you know, you do your little stash a few thousand now and then. And
I guess this, I would kind of think of it the same way, but I guess I would make sure that a few thousand of that every once in a while would go towards a local official to be like, because they could fight extradition.
Yeah, you can.
But if you turn around, but ultimately it comes to the fucking, it's the local government who says yes or no.
Yeah.
So you just turn around and be like, dude, go to Belize and be like, all right, here's fucking 10 grand and I'll give you another 10 grand, say in 3 months. Just don't let them take me. Because 10 grand in Belize is probably like $450 billion.
Yeah.
The conversion rate is amazing, I'm sure.
As soon as you pay the guy, he's like, I am now king or emperor of this country.
I buy my own hotel with 18 cents. No, I don't know if Belize would be cool. From what I know of it.
I would try to find someplace tropical.
You know, I think I wouldn't mind tropical, but I'd want to be somewhere that's rather modern.
Yes. Well, yeah.
You know, so it doesn't have to necessarily, you know what? Here's the thing.
It's got to have running water.
Not just running water, but if I want to go to Walmart, I need to go to Walmart. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I don't want to have to ride my scooter to a fucking local village to buy a fucking apple, you know?
Yeah.
You could you could get away with it in Japan. I know you could.
Yeah, there are places. I think you could find a quiet place in Japan.
Not even just quiet. You could go to like fucking.
Well, and Tokyo is
Tokyo
is the biggest city on earth. Like you could disappear there.
Right. And you could live publicly. Obviously, if you had a name change and everything or whatever else, you could probably get away with it. You know, if the triads can, you know, they can do whatever the fuck. Why wouldn't you grease a few palms and be like, you didn't see me?
Yeah.
You know, why not? In Japan, I don't know if you can get any more fucking technologically modern than fucking Tokyo. Mm-hmm. You know, I wouldn't want to go to like Bangkok in Thailand or whatever, because apparently
snakes. Ugh.
Well, you can fucking
no, but we're talking like the cobras, king cobras. Nope. I ain't got to check your shoes every morning, make sure there's not deadly spiders in there. No thanks.
So I watched this video, or not this video. I read this. What do you want to call it? I read this. It was an article about this lady, and where the fuck was she at? Fuck, I can't remember. Anyway, she was in this fucking country where they had reticulated pythons. Ooh. And she was in her kitchen, and she was just getting ready to fucking pour some water to cook something, I guess, or do dishes. I don't quite remember. Anyway, she felt this fucking sting, this pain in her leg, and she looked down, and there was a fucking a python attached to her leg. Oof. Now this fucking thing wrapped around her.
Yep.
Was planning on eating her, but apparently she was stuck like that for like an hour and a half, and because they'll kill you before they try to eat you, right?
Yep.
Now this thing was close to it was closer like 17, 18 feet long, and it was gonna try to fucking eat her, And then, but she kept screaming and trying to scream as much as she could. And finally, one of her neighbors fucking came in and seen what was going on. And after like a half an hour of him and some other people and the authorities like smoking this fucking snake in the head, it finally let go. And I'm like, but they let go of her and then it got away. I'm like, first of all, wrap something around his fucking neck and then smoke the shit out of it. So then you have it. But apparently she was wrapped up like that for 2 hours.
Man, it could have easily cut off so much circulation to her leg or something that she could have lost her leg from it.
No, it was wrapped all the way around her. Not just one leg. It wasn't just bit and wrapped around her leg. It wrapped around her whole body.
She probably got lucky in that case. Well, one, that someone came in or heard her.
Yeah, they said that.
Because if it had just been around a limb or something, then she probably would have lost the limb.
So they said that she had to be treated for bites, but that was it. Mm-hmm. Other than that, she was okay. Didn't break anything, but, obviously the snake couldn't try to eat her until she was dead.
Yep.
So apparently, obviously she didn't die, so it didn't try to eat her. But can you imagine?
That would be a terrible way to go.
That'd be a terrible fucking experience, period.
Yeah. That's why they say there's a lot of... If you keep big snakes, like the Burmese pythons, if you have a Burmese python, they tell you, never handle it by yourself.
Yep.
Because, one, it's going to associate you with food because you're the one that shows up to feed it.
Yep.
And if it does mistake you for the food and you're by yourself, you are fucked.
Yeah,
There's nothing you can do.
Well, it depends on how big it is.
Yeah, once it gets to a certain size. But they're the ones that get, like Burmese pythons are some of the biggest constrictors in the world.
Right. When I was go ahead.
This is on the same topic because this reminds me of a story that I saw on the news. Well, it wasn't on the news. It came up in my YouTube feed. I follow 3 or 4 reptile keepers on YouTube, and they all started putting out this story at the same time about this guy he's a venomous snake keeper, which that's the hardcore of hardcore. Mm-hmm. But this guy is such a danger to people because he handles his venomous snakes with his hands. Mm-hmm. Doesn't use a hook or anything.
Yep.
And he tells them oh no, you're perfectly safe if they feed off of your energy and your mood. So as long as you're not, agitated, they'll be fine. And you can hold them this way and they can't bite you. And it was, I think last week or the week before, this guy's a known asshole.
Yeah.
To other keepers who are like, what you're saying is going to get people bitten and hurt. And he'll respond to them and just you're a fucking pussy. You don't know what you're talking about. I've been keeping venomous reptiles for 30 years and never gotten bit. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, last week he posts on Twitter, he's like, oh, people that need anti-venom are pussies. 3 days later, he posts on Twitter, does anyone have any Taipan anti-venom? If so, contact this hospital. And then, because he was handling a new baby Taipan, which Taipans are the most deadly. They have the most potent venom of any snake on land, on the planet.
And on top of it, you got a baby snake who they can't control their venom.
Yeah. And so most of these keepers waited to put out their videos until they found out he was going to live. Because, he very well could have died. He's still going to need kidney transplants because it completely fucked his kidneys. But his first video that he made from the hospital, he has seemingly no remorse. He's going to keep doing it. And so now organizations had to send what little anti-venom that they have for a Taipan to save his dumb ass.
Yeah.
And now they're at risk because it's a very rare anti-venom to get.
I've seen this. Oh, keep going.
But it was just one of the kind of, I don't want to say ironic, but it was one of the funniest like karma moments because antivenoms for pussies. 3 days later, does anyone have any antivenom? I'm gonna die.
And you know what? It's kind of sad, not sad, but it's fucked up that there's animals that have that shit, and it'll literally, like you said, he's gonna need a kidney transplant and shit. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure this video that I seen, I'm sure you've seen it. It's a video. This guy walked into this room with hundreds of king cobras. And this guy's got a bag, and he's just walking in there like, the motherfucker's walking through Walmart, right? And he's just grabbing them, just kind of throwing them around, just looking for certain ones I don't know why and then this one, I think there's two actually, but this one in particular was a big fucking cobra, right? Stood up, flared out its cape, and was looking right at him. He turned around, seen it, and he fucking smacked him. He just smacked it like it was a fucking, bad kitty or bad puppy, Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and the fucking snake went down and fucking turned around and walked away. And this guy's walking through there, not wearing boots, as far as if I remember right. Not wearing boots, not wearing anything. He's just walking in there. He's grabbing these fucking snakes like by the handful, just kind of throwing them off the side. He's like looking, and then the one, and he turns around and he smacks the fucker. I'm like, that has to be the bravest next to the man who tells his wife to calm down.
Yeah,
this snake dude was the second bravest to that guy.
There's some good videos of cats and snakes, and
yes,
the cats are like the
ballsiest motherfuckers,
and they are just designed in a way. Well, I shouldn't say designed. They evolved in a way that is just unfair to other animals because they are so fucking fast. Their reflexes, from inches away, a snake can try and strike it, and the cat will react fast enough to dodge it and fucking counter slap it. And,
well, next to the mongoose.
Yeah, mongoose are
those motherfuckers are. They're just like you have a fucking cobra or a snake problem. Mm-hmm. Get yourself a fucking pet mongoose.
Yep, it's the same kind of thing. They have reflexes that are nothing else compares to it.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, the thing is about cats, they're jerks. Mm-hmm. I mean, a dog could be just walking, just happy and having fun, and all of a sudden the cat just bip, 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 just pop like 4 times. What'd that fucking dog do to you? What did Rover do to you there, fucking socks? Why do you gotta be a dick?
Cats allowed themselves to be domesticated. Dogs we kind of forced into it. Cats were just like, you know what? Okay, if you want to feed me, that's fine, but I'm still, I don't need you. I don't need you for anything.
And that's what, you see those memes around where the dog's like, oh, it's my human. It's my human. Oh, hey, buddy. And then the cat's like,
you were dead.
And then the cat's like, hey, human, hungry. Hurry the fuck up. Yeah. I mean, you've seen those videos of like where this person's sleeping and they're fucking somehow like their significant other's videotaping it, where the cat gets up on them, laying there watching them, and then just smacks them to wake them up. Cats are fucking jerks, dude. Yep. And I don't know about you, but I've seen the videos, and some of those fucking videos are funny. Cats are assholes.
They are. And I do think some of it is just because they really don't need us.
They don't give a shit.
Yep. They're like, you know what? I like the fact that you feed me, but if you disappeared, I'd be fine. I'd find a way out of here. And
I seen this post from back home, back in Williston, where this person posted on a local Facebook page, which I still pay attention to because that's my hometown. Mm-hmm. My mom and sister live there, And the funny thing was, this person just said, hey, is there anybody around that is experienced with dealing with feral cats? My kids can't go outside to play because there's this feral cat that comes around and chases them around and, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now, a regular house cat is feral is fucking scary.
Oh yeah, they, especially if it's not declawed, which you should never declaw your cats.
No, it's a definite defense mechanism.
Yeah, and it's like it's the equivalent of a human being having their finger removed from the top knuckle on. Like it goes straight into their
right
finger. Like,
so, I mean, you got these fucking guys that are like, feral cat, you need somebody to take care of it? And it's like, persons, yeah, shoot it. Fuck that thing. I mean, grown-ass fucking men are like, fuck that. I mean, I'd probably say the same thing, but obviously there's more humane things to do. I mean, you could trap it and
relocate it, or a humane society can try to.
They're going to put it down.
They're going to put it down.
They're going to put it down. But I mean, you could take a fucking cat, a feral cat, drop it off in the middle of fucking nowhere, and it'll be just fine.
Yeah, even just a house cat, a normal house cat.
Yep.
You could drop it.
Well,
there are some that the real fluff ball, like sad looking.
Well,
cats.
we were just talking about fucking my brother's cat, Eddie. That fucking cat, you can't put him outside. That fat fuck could have been like, dude, you need to let me in. I need you to make my plate of dinner. What do we have for dinner tonight? Well, you're having this. No, the fuck I'm not. I'm having fucking stew with you guys. He was, and then their other cat. And you ever heard the story of that other cat they have? I don't even know that cat's name either.
I don't think I've heard the story. I just what glimpses that I could catch of him when I was over there, because he just kind of hangs off by himself.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know that cat's name either.
Yeah.
But he's just a little fuzzball, and he's pretty quiet. Him and Boy would come out and venture around the apartment or their house. This other one usually stays in their room. So a few years ago, my sister-in-law was working for a chiropractic company over there here in town. And one night she was getting in her vehicle to go home, and it was cold as fuck. And all of a sudden, right before she got in the car, she started hearing a noise. Started hearing a meow. So she started looking around. She started the vehicle. And the little fucker kind of poked his head out. Now, it was just a little kitty. Poked his head out, and it was a fucking cat. So, apparently it was cold as fuck this day. And so, Christy grabbed it, brought it home. And Dan, so they already had their dog Ruby. Then they had Boy. And Dan's like, okay, I get it. We'll feed it for a day or two. But we can't.
We can't keep it. Yeah. There's 0% chance.
Dan keeps trying to say, we've only had the cat for 8 years or whatever we can take.
But he's gonna have
to go tomorrow. Yep. But, no, and he was that little kitty was so very timid. This one isn't one of the ones that will just smack you. This cat is very fucking timid. Not like Boy. With Ruby was around, fucking Boy was like, listen, I eat first, and then he was like, he was a shot caller in prison. Boy was like, and that's how he was with Oakland, their dog. Listen, I eat first, then you can eat what's left. I used to give them shit. I used to give Dan and Christy shit when they'd go out of town, and they would tell them they'd left a big pile of food, big pile of water, or big bowl of water for Boy. I was like, so did you throw the fucking deer carcass for the cat? Or we had to throw a moose down there this time. But it's just, cats are a different, whole fucking different situation.
I just saw a news story, I think it was yesterday. And I mean, we've heard stories like this before, but this couple, I think they had gone on like a cross-country camping trip or something. And after they had gone back home, they couldn't find their cat. They had left the cat, and this cat fucking went however many months, 600 miles, found its way back home to their doorstep.
Yeah.
Like, they must have some kind of
internal GPS.
Yeah, like they must be able to sense kind of like the magnetic field or something and know.
Well, dogs are the same way.
Yeah, we've
all heard those stories of dogs doing the same fucking thing where some asshole fucking got a dog and couldn't take care of it, so dropped it off in the middle of nowhere. And a couple days later, fucking, whether it had been 20 miles or 100 miles, the dog fucking ended up coming back. I think it's probably a scent thing.
Yeah, I think, especially with dogs, I think it's probably more of a scent thing.
There's, who the fuck was it said, I can't remember where I heard this, but people have said that, hey, if you ever died, your best friend, that kitty cat, it'll eat you before it fucking tries to help you.
Yep.
And the dog will fucking try to get help. And cat's gonna fucking eat your eyeballs first.
They start at your head.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been a cat person. Dan's cat, Eddie, boy, was a fucking great cat.
Yeah.
I just, our neighbors got a cat. Both of them, the one upstairs and downstairs, both have cats now. As long as they fucking leave me alone. And Jesse, he's been on podcasts a few times. Jesse's got a cat named Mocha. Is probably the prettiest cat I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Mocha's a good kitty. But it's just weird because it looks like it's part tabby and part something else. But it's got that mocha color. That's why, and that's a fucking cool name for a cat too.
Yeah.
So anyway, there, Pookie, we are sitting at about that time.
All right,
for this episode.
Let's get out of here.
We're gonna get the hell out of here. If you have anything
You're
that
gonna
you'd
hear
like to.
some up next, Jonathan Coltrane with "Let Me Lick That a Little More."
Again.